The Greek gift sacrifice. This is one of the more famous tactical sacrifices, and they are absolutely fantastic when you find them. So today we are going to look at what it is, how you do it, when it works, and when it doesn't work. So let's just smash through a few quick moves of an opening and get into something that would work for the Greek gift, and then we'll explain it. So we don't have to worry too much about these moves, but here we have the French defense, and then this goes into the classical, then the Stein's variations there. So just carry on developing, bishop comes out, and then we get our bishop across. Right. Let's start from this position. We are on move 6. Now, we have developed out our bishop there. It looks like we're just making room to get castled off to safety. And black, what looks like a very natural move, they also get castled off. But oh my days, look at that analysis bar. Things are going to get ever so spicy for black. So what is the Greek gift sacrifice? It is a really powerful tactical pattern where white or black delivers a sacrifice with the bishop on the h7, or from black's perspective it would be the h2 when the opponent is castled off to safety. So let's look at a typical pattern and look at some of the things that we need to make it happen. So first we deliver that devastating check with the bishop, and much like the Trojan horse, it looks like we are just giving it up and the king can just quite happily go ahead and take it. Next, we need something like the horsey being able to safely jump up to the g5. Now, it must be protected by something. As you can see, for this example, we have the queen there which can take it, but we are protected by our bishop. Doesn't have to be the bishop, could be something like the pawn on the h4, but we need something being able to defend it. So, the horsey jumps up and delivers the check. Now, the king has a few ways that you can go here. We'll start with the simplest one, which is dropping back to the h8. For this position, we will look at all of them because it does kind of change what our next moves would be. But if he goes to the h8, the next thing that we would need would be the queen being able to deliver that final blow. Normally, it wants to be able to get something like the h5. Now, there are some examples where we need to bring it across to something like the d3 first, and we'll look at those in a second, but in this case, bringing it across to the h5, popping the king in check. He has no other moves, so he moves across to the g8, and we can now deliver that checkmate. And you can just see how all of the pieces were working in perfect harmony there. Like I say, we deliver the check, he takes, horsey can jump up, quite happily defended, delivering the check. King drops back, then the queen can come across, delivering that final blow. All the pieces working in perfect harmony there. Now, let's have a little look. The king doesn't have to move back. Let's have a little look at some of his other 3 moves. And if you like this kind of thing, please leave it a like, really helps the channel grow. Leave a comment if there's anything you want to see me cover. And yeah, if you could subscribe, that would be awesome. We are just shy of 5,000, and that would be, that would be cool, wouldn't it? Let's go with king dropping back to the g8 there. For this, I would bring up the queen to the d3. Now, it is fine if you forget and you just bring it across to the h5. We're still threatening the mate in 1. Now, the queen would then have to take the horsey. We take back, and we are in a completely winning position there. But I just find that if we bring it up to the d3 first, we end up with a better position. Just playing this out a little bit. After the f6 comes down, we take, and then the horsey comes. We drop back like so, and we're still in a very good position here. You know, we're totally going to win. Normally, if they have to give up the queen, they're just going to resign, but I find it's a much better position just because the horsey just is a lot more active for them at the moment, so there is just a more comfortable position for us. So let's just bring it back. If we were to say bring it up to the d3 instead, we're still threatening this. Then after something like the f5 comes down, we then come across with the queen. Don't take the en passant. Just bring your queen across now. Now when he goes ahead and takes and we take back, you can just see the horsey just has nothing really it can do at the moment, and I just think it's a better position for us there. Again, if you do just go to the h5, it's absolutely fine. We're still in a totally win position there, but like I say, I just find that coming across like so just plays out a little bit better for us. If the king comes down to the h6, then again, D3 makes the most sense. We are now threatening to come up here and deliver that checkmate. So really, there's not too much they can do. Queen takes, we take back, and then after the king takes back, really, I'd just bring the queen across to something like the h7. Black has all the pieces along the back. This guy isn't really doing too much, and from here we're just going to be delivering all kinds of checks. And probably push forward something like this. The f4, get the king to take, and then bring across the rook like so. And then we're just going to be attacking with these guys. It's going to be mate in a few moves, really. And if he was to come to something like the g6, then for this, I mean, you can come up and deliver the check like so, but there is a fun pattern here where you come up with the h4 first. This bad boy comes down on the f5, and from here we can then push forwards the h5, putting them in check. Now, the king doesn't really have anywhere to go to apart from here, onto the h6, and then we could just hop across our horsey, discovered check, and we are now threatening the king. King has to drop back to here, and then nom nom nom, we've got ourselves a queen. Now, let's just say we offer up the Greek gift sacrifice, and black is like, nah mate, I'm not touching that, I'm aware of the Greek gift. Instead, I am just going to move across my king to the h8. Now, it's going to be tempting to be like, ah well, I got a pawn, let's just retreat back. No. No. Continue on with the plan. Bring up the horsey. Horsey is still defended by this, so can't be taken, and is now offering in an extra level of protection for the bishop there. Stockfish is still recommending the best move for black is to just give up the queen. But let's just say they don't do that. Let's just say they do something like the g6. Looks like it's kind of blocking us in. What can we do? Well, we can't get the queen across there yet or anything. However, we can just go h4. Looks like a simple move, and no, we are not doing this to defend the horsey. We are adding in more attackers. We're planning on pushing it forwards to the h5. If we can, whoopsie daisy, if we can go ahead and take that, then our rook's open. Things are going to get extra spicy for black. So, I don't know, something like the queen just comes across to the e7 there. We continue pushing forwards the pawn to the h5. They can't go ahead and take it because once the queen gets in, we have this battering ram. Things are just going to fall apart immediately for black. So let's say something like the f6 comes down. Now, it's going to be tempting to go ahead and take, but that's just going to end up getting their horsey involved, and we do not want that. There's a real fun line here where horsey can jump up, delivering the check. Now, once again, it looks like we're just giving up the horsey. Now, our pawn can go ahead and is now attacking the queen and has opened up our rook. If the queen comes across to somewhere like here, we have two moves. Basically, it doesn't really matter which order we do them in. We can either bring across the queen first, or we can try and deliver the pin. I would bring across the queen first. I mean, what's the rush, you know? Let's just start bringing all of our pieces across for that final blow. Now, black may see that this pin's coming, so they move, just say, their rook out of the way there. Doesn't matter, we're still going to bring across our dark square bishop. Look at how uncomfortable things are for black now, and really, what are they going to do with their queen? If they move the queen out of the way, somewhere like here, this pawn's just going to keep advancing. Now the queen is forced to take the pawn there. We take back, king takes back, and things are just going to fall apart straight away for black. Queen comes up, delivers the check. King can go one of two spaces, but it makes no difference. Both are a mate in two. If he comes across to here, then the bishop to the g6, check. King drops back, and then boom, checkmate. The Greek gift is so powerful when it works, when you have the pieces that can just line up and deliver that devastating blow. It is just absolutely disgusting. Alright, here we have another example here, winning the queen. So we offer up the Greek gift sacrifice. King goes and takes. Now you can see things are slightly different for us here. You know, we have the pawns here, we have the king castled off. But in this case, we can push forward the pawn, putting the king in check. Yes, the pawn can go ahead and take, but then once the horsey jumps up, attacking the king, once again, horsey is nice and protected from the queen there. The king then drops back to, let's just say, the g8 there. Well, from here, we can bring across our queen. Clearly, we can't get it to the h5 in this example, but we can get it to here onto the f3. And you can see we are currently threatening this fork here, and we are threatening coming across like so and up for a mate there. Really, there is not much that black can do here apart from just give up the queen, do the trade there, and we are still going to go and just win the game. Happy days. Alright, we've seen some examples of when it will work. Let's see some of when it won't. So if the horsey is on the f6, it will not work. As you can see, we take, then horsey just goes and takes back, and now we are down a bishop. Womp womp. And if you're defending against a Greek gift, it's not always the end of the world. It can look a bit scary, but just take some time, have a little look at the pieces that you've got there. Now, clearly we go and take, and then they come down for the check, we drop back, and oh no, the queen's coming. But if you remember what I said about having, if there's a horsey on the f6, then we're okay. We can bring down one of the horses to here. Now attacking the queen, yes, we're giving it up, but then we go back, take the pawn, and that is stopping any kind of shenanigans going on here. Things aren't ideal and white is in a better position, but still, we haven't lost the game, and this is definitely salvageable. The light square bishop, if that can also get back to defend. As you can see in this position, light square bishop is open. If we go and we try and do it now, look at that analysis bar. He can take, yes, we can jump up and go for the check there. He's still defended by this. However, if he drops back, we try bringing up the queen now, then the light square bishop can just get in and just ruin all of our plans. And now we are 2 points of material down and probably going to lose the game. A fairly obvious one, but one still worth mentioning. If you just don't have the pieces for the attack, if you go in to go and do the Greek gift sacrifice, then, you know, it dies as soon as it starts and you just pieces down. Main things with the Greek gift is just remembering when it works and when it doesn't work. So when it works, obviously when you've got the light square bishop ready to attack on the h7 or the h2, when we have a horsey normally on the f3 ready to spring into action onto the g5, and that horsey being defended by another piece, be it a bishop or a pawn. Normally we want the queen being able to spring into action on the h5, but again, sometimes it can be different, you know, something like the d3 or even sometimes the g4 there. And just remember what we don't want. If there is a horsey on the f6 there, it's going to be able to defend that square. If the light square bishop is open and it's able to get to the f5, it's going to be able to get back and defend there. Or simply, if you just do not have enough pieces for the attack, then again, it is clearly not going to work. But I do, whenever you see yourself in this kind of position, doesn't have to be this exact position, but, you know, whenever you just see your bishop staring across at that f7 and black is all castled off there, just take a few minutes, calculate, and just see, can you get that Greek gift sacrifice and completely turn the tide of the game?